create an institution just for black boys. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? We can't, that's not necessary. They need to learn to get along with everybody. But no, there's a time period they got to learn to get along with themselves. Like, so you got institutions. Let's say Urban Prep in Chicago. Tim King been doing a wonderful job, but it's not in cultural context. That's right. It's not in true broader sense of cultural context. Part of the why there's no us, there's four. I boiled it down to four us's, and then there's a, like we play in spades. There's four in the possible, right? Right. There's the Pan-Africanist. There's the African American. There's the black, and then there's the nigga. Right? Those are subgroups. Those are ethnic groups within what it is to be African diasporically. Those are our ethnic groups. Like if you go on the continent and you have Igbo and Yoruba, and you have these are ethnic groups. They're all African, but these are the ethnic groups within the African continent. Well, within these diaspora in this continent, I boiled down that those are, and we got the possible is if we don't get it in check, is this idea of the savage, right? And so there's a language, there's a dress code, there's a music, there's all these components of what we weave in. We consider what is culture. At least what we learn is culture. In these groups, all blacks don't identify with all African Americans, right? African Americans tend to have a different agenda about how they want to move through life, and oftentimes they're embarrassed by blacks. They definitely embarrassed by niggas, right? And they try to, even within their own families at times, separate themselves from that thing. And then the Pan-Africanist, he's on this other extreme. Nobody understand him, but the blacks kind of get it. Just got some other stuff to do. But to be honest with you, this is a hard one for us to swallow sometimes. The nigga got the closest to being right, at least in practice. So if you look at him or her, she don't care nothing about this system. That's right? Try to find ways not to conform. Right? Yeah, listen, I don't want to go to work. Right. I don't want to go. I'll try to pimp this system, get all I can get. I'm not buying into this idea that I gotta go spend $100,000 on a degree to make it. I gotta conform. I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, some kind of way, hustle, do something. You may call me lazy and trifling, but I'm doing the same thing that other wealthy people are doing. I'm trying not to have to work for a living. Right. And I'm trying not to, we brag about the fact that Steve Jobs and all these other wealthy billionaires dropped out of school and they're not high, they just got high. But the ones we talking about the same way. That's right. Tapped out, seen something different. That's right. Now I can make some money over here doing this. I don't need this to go do that. That's right. That's right. And he don't like law enforcement. He don't like law enforcement for what it seems to stand for. So he out there saying F12, F50, whatever, right? And he's resistant. He's resistant to this. He doesn't have a command of the English language. He don't even want to. Tear it up. It's the African American and the blacks is always correcting them. That's right. That's not how you say that, brother. You're supposed to, right? Right. And then they looking at him like, right? I don't have to say it like that. That's it. Yeah. And it's an amazing thing. He wears it. You understand me. My hair wild sometimes. Brother, why you won't just? I'm good. Think about that. Freedom.
true.
It's a sense of freedom.
It's a sense of freedom. That's right.
It's a sense of freedom that we all looking for, in a sense. So I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm saying don't throw that baby out with the bathwater, because there's a lesson to learn even in his and her behavior, right? It's even a lesson to learn in the savage, because you take somebody like Dessalines and the Haiti revolution. If you take him out of the context of a revolution, he a savage. That's right. Listen, he a savage. But he was necessary, because he was like, you had some other people. Let's say you take Toussaint. Toussaint kind of still identified with French culture, and he wanted them to respect him, right? And his hand was kind of forced into the revolution. All right, listen, all right, I gotta choose a side. All right, I'm gonna side with my people. And he did an amazing thing. But he was captured and tricked over because he still thought there was something human about his enemy, something that he can appeal to within his enemy's heart. And his enemy showed him different. Dessalines came and said, listen, take that white stripe out of that Haitian's flag. I don't see nothing white on this island, right? And he said, listen, leave scorched earth war policies, right? Leave nothing alive, breathing policy. Kill them and cut off their heads. We gotta go hard body. He going against Napoleon. Napoleon sent 60,000 troops at this small Caribbean island, and Dessalines was recorded to have put 54,000 of them in body bags. Who's next, right? So we get to see that in the movies Troy and Brad Pitt can yell out, "Is there anyone else?" Right. We see it in Gladiator, right? Are you not entertained, right? Oh, William Wallace, Mel Gibson, right? I don't want you to show no film. A Dessalines talk about Kopitek Budokai, kill them and cut off their heads. And then we celebrate that. We're like, oh, culturally. But it's culturally irresponsible not to reflect and show that, not to make that movie.
Because it doesn't show the savage where his place is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I read this book. It's a Scientology book, Scientology 101. And L. Ron Hubbard says in a chapter in there called on leadership, he said the leader must know what to do, I'm paraphrasing, must know what to do and how to use the uncontrollable element of his society, because if he don't, that will be the element that then comes back to harm him, yes, right? Yes, so you gotta look and say, damn, savages over there. Well, they there. Yeah. You can't get rid of them. How do we use them? And then how do we deal with them afterwards? And that's, but we don't think in that context because we're not trying to be a liberated people. We, by and large,